African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 2nd of May, 2024. Today, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered a group strike using aeroballistic hypersonic Kinzhal missiles and long-range strike unmanned aerial vehicles on the infrastructure of the Ukrainian armed forces military airfields. The strike objective was achieved. All designated targets were hit. Units of the North Group of troops improved their tactical position. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized, an airborne assault brigade, 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian armed forces, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Pavlovka, Alexeivka, Varakino, Yablanovka, and Andriivka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on units of a mechanized brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Volchansk and Okremovka in the Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 120 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 12 cars, 5 artillery guns, and a radio-electronic warfare station. Units of the West Group of troops improved their position along the front line. Damage was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized assault brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements Kupiansk, Alexandrovka, Peskino in the Kharkiv region, and Novoselovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. Enemy losses amounted to up to 225 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, and 19 cars. 3 ammunition depots and 5 radio-electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the South Group of troops improved their tactical position. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, an airmobile, assault brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Konstantinovka, Seversk, Pleshchivka, Ivanopoli, Zvanovka, and Berstok in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 150 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, and an artillery gun. Units of the Center Group of forces improved the situation along the front line. Formations of 2 mechanized, Ranger, Airmobile, 2 airborne assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and 2 brigades of the National Guard were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Novopavlovka, Dmitrov, Belitskoy, Rodinskoy, Krasnoarmeysk of the Donetsk People's Republic and Dagnoy of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to more than 385 servicemen, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, 2 cars, and 2 field artillery guns. Units of the East Group of forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. The manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, a territorial defense brigade and a National Guard brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Novogeorgievka, Berezov in the Dnipropetrovsk region, Temirovka, Olgovskoye in the Zaporizhia region and Iskra in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian armed forces lost more than 215 servicemen, a combat armored vehicle, 7 cars, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnipro Group of forces defeated the formations of the Coastal Defense Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Malotokmachka, Stepnogorsk in the Zaporizhia region, Antonovka in the Kherson region, and the city of Kherson. Up to 65 servicemen, 3 vehicles, 3 electronic warfare stations, and a warehouse of material were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups destroyed a workshop for the production of unmanned boats, temporary deployment points of Ukrainian formations and foreign mercenaries in 142 districts. Air defense systems shot down a U.S.-made Mars multiple launch rocket system and 120 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 74,580 unmanned aerial vehicles, 625 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,442 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,584 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 28,160 field artillery pieces and mortars, 39,115 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.